A peaceful autumn night in Hartford, Connecticut shattered with sudden terror when a young woman's desperate screams pierced the darkness. Passing motorists bore chilling witness as a car roared through the streets with the victim trapped beside it, her body torn apart mile after agonizing mile. By the time the vehicle roared away into the night, 24-year-old Leah Ulbrich lay dead in its wake. But the mystery of why she met such a horrifying fate remains unsolved decades later. In the pre-dawn hours of October 29, 1995, Leah Ulbrich met a gruesome demise few could comprehend. Her mangled body was discovered dragged over 4 miles from Hartford's industrial district to the suburbs of Wethersfield. Yet, despite clues and pleas for justice, Leah's killer was never found. This haunting cold case still torments investigators and her loved ones, the details forever seared into memory. But advances in forensic science may soon unravel secrets that could finally reveal the truth. Hello guys, and welcome back to Crimeco, where we break down some of the most chilling true crime cases from every corner of the globe, providing you with the most recent and in-depth information. If this sparks your interest, we would be delighted if you could subscribe to the channel. Also, giving this video a like significantly supports the channel's growth. We appreciate your help. Now, grab a blanket to hide behind, and let's dive into today's interesting case. Leah's short life held promise and pain before its devastating end. A bright child in Maryland, she fell into drugs as a teen before rebounding as a young mother in the early 1990s. But losing custody of her children in 1993 upended Leah's recovery. She cycled in and out of rehabs and jails for years after in Connecticut. In October 1995, the 24-year-old finally completed treatment, newly sober and determined to reclaim a normal life. Tragically, just days later, her second chance was cruelly snatched away. In the pre-dawn hours of October 29, 1995, a gruesome crime scene began materializing across Hartford's North Side streets. It started with a blood-spattered sidewalk on Locust Street in the industrial South Meadows area. Soon after, a far more horrifying sight emerged on the Wethersfield town line. There along Jordan Lane lay the mangled remains of Leah Ulbrich, dead after being dragged at high speeds for over 4 miles.
No one deserves to die like she did.
Investigators were left struggling to determine what depraved events could have caused such carnage beneath the veneer of a peaceful New England city. On that fateful autumn night, Leah was approximately 2 weeks out of a rehab program, getting her life back on track after years of Witnesses placed the 24-year-old arguing with an unidentified male driver near Locust and Elliott Streets around 4:45 a.m. Likely attempting to escape the vehicle, Leah became trapped by her seatbelt as the man hit the gas. A delivery driver observed her desperate plight and gave chase, but lost sight as the vehicle roared off at 60 miles per hour into the darkness. Drivers and residents soon spotted Leah's body skidding behind the speeding sedan. Police traced a 4-mile trail of gore leading to the heinous discovery site on Jordan Lane. Leah's remains strewn along the roadside. She had been horrifically torn apart during the lengthy dragging. This sprawling crime scene still marks one of the largest ever recorded in state history.
Leah Ulbrich's crime scene is the largest to date and related to a homicide in the state of Connecticut.
Detectives pored over physical evidence and interviewed locals, seeking clues on what motivated such shocking brutality. But with few solid leads, the investigation stalled without strong suspects. Decades later, Leah's savage murder remains clouded in frustrating uncertainty. But advances in forensic science could soon unravel long-held secrets. On the surface, Leah Ulbrich's childhood gave little indication of the struggles that lay ahead. She was born in 1971 as the cherished daughter of Robert and Linda Baskin, spending her early years thriving in Maryland. But after discovering drugs as a teenager, Leah embarked on a troubled path that profoundly shaped her abbreviated life. In high school, Leah experimented with various substances from the 80s culture, but her recreational use soon spiraled into hardcore addiction. Leah's problems pitted her against parents desperate to get their once-driven daughter back on track. Despite their efforts, she continued slipping down a hazardous road. But by 1992, Leah had entered a treatment program and made great strides towards recovery. She married her boyfriend, Bob, that year and gave birth to 2 children while living in Connecticut. For a short, beautiful period, it appeared Leah had defeated her demons and built the happy family life she always wanted. Tragically, in 1993, the promising new start unraveled when authorities found Leah's home unfit for children. With paraphernalia littering the residence, her kids were removed from custody. This devastating loss marked the beginning of a heartbreaking downward spiral. Over the next 2 years, Leah cycled in and out of the criminal justice system, unable to overcome her addiction despite repeated attempts at rehabilitation. After one failed program, she landed behind bars for 9 months in 1994 for probation violations. The once vibrant young woman seemed lost, fueling her family's desperate hopes a transformation could still occur. In late 1995, Leah proudly completed an intensive treatment program, finally ready to reclaim her derailed life outside prison walls. Just days later, she fell victim to the heinous crime that claimed her life. But the exact circumstances leading up to the events of October 29th remain obscured in frustrating uncertainty. In the early morning hours of October 29, 1995, terror erupted on a desolate Hartford Street corner that changed lives forever. Witnesses observed 24-year-old Leah Ulbrich arguing with an unidentified male driver near Locust and Elliott Streets around 4:45 a.m. Moments later, utter depravity unfolded before their eyes. As the man suddenly accelerated, Leah attempted to escape the vehicle but became trapped by her seatbelt. Her arms still entangled as the car roared off, Leah could only scream in despair while being violently dragged at speeds over 60 miles per hour. The driver showed no signs of slowing his sadistic flight. A newspaper delivery driver witnessed Leah's plight and gave urgent chase, but the vehicle soon vanished into the night with its captive victim. Leah was dragged over 4 agonizing miles, her broken body left strewn along the route once the car finally halted. In the dawn light, police traced a gruesome trail of gore all the way to Jordan Lane in suburban Wethersfield, where Leah's shattered remains lay at the roadside. She had been torn apart during the lengthy dragging, barely identifiable from tattoos and clothing scraps at the scene. With few specifics on why Leah ended up in the man's vehicle, investigators probed her background for clues. Her history of work and the crime's location pointed to a possible solicitation. However, with frustratingly little evidence, no singular theory emerged on the case's perplexing origin. And despite poring over forensic clues from the expansive crime scene, no strong suspect materialized. But renewed DNA testing may soon speak for Leah at last, exposing the secrets that eluded authorities all these years. Justice has no deadline, and science could unravel this mystery whenever the crucial evidence emerges. In the aftermath of 24-year-old Leah Ulbrich's horrific murder, anguished questions mounted. How could such depraved violence occur on a quiet Connecticut street? And why did her killer remain free while Leah's family grieved? Without definitive answers, only uncertainty lingered.
We just want to know that the person that took her from us has consequences for their actions.
In re-examining Leah's background, investigators hoped to identify suspects with potential motives. They learned Leah had prostituted in the past, suggesting she willingly entered a client's car, unaware of the impending evil. But with few eyewitness details, no solid leads took shape. The crime's location indicated Leah could have been soliciting clients that night around Locust and Elliott Streets, an area frequented by workers. Police theorized that she may have denied the man's advances or attempted to exit the vehicle after a deal went bad, prompting his explosive rage response. However, with limited evidence, the sequence of events remained speculative. Seeking more concrete breakthroughs, investigators turned to physical clues preserved from the extensive crime scene. Leah's shoes were found on Locust Street, appearing torn from her feet when the car accelerated. Her jacket also lay discarded nearby. These items marked the first signs of Leah's horrific 4-mile ordeal. As she was violently dragged, pieces of clothing and ultimately body parts ripped free and scattered along the route. Blood and human remains created a trail of carnage leading to Jordan Lane, where Leah finally succumbed. The vehicle was described by witnesses as possibly a Nissan Altima or Maxima sedan with temporary license plates, but an exhaustive search of registration records failed to yield a definitive match. With DNA testing in early stages during the 1990s investigation, biological evidence also provided no quick answers. In 2002, officials offered a $50,000 reward seeking new leads in Leah's cold case. They revealed existence of a cord found with her body that could contain suspect DNA, but still no witnesses came forward with names, including one woman who saw the vehicle drag Leah onto Wethersfield Avenue. Without sufficient DNA, uncooperative witnesses, or confession, Leah's murder frustratingly remains unsolved decades later. However, investigators are hopeful that retesting preserved biological evidence using modern methods could soon provide the elusive break needed to solve this tragic mystery. The savage murder of Leah Ulbricht dealt devastating losses that still reverberate for her loved ones today. But in their grief, Leah's family and friends found inspiration to enact changes so other young women avoid her tragic fate. For Leah's parents, the immediate shock gave way to agonizing recognition that their warnings about their daughter's vulnerability went unheeded. They felt failed by the very systems meant to provide intervention before it was too late. Leah's mother had urgently contacted social services, voicing concerns about her daughter's deteriorating condition and inability to safely care for herself. But inadequate response preceded the family's worst fears becoming reality. Their calls for action will forever echo with haunting meaning. While Leah's parents could not reverse the past, they honored their daughter's memory by advocating for improved mental health and addiction treatment resources. Their efforts highlighted the need for greater community vigilance and preventative measures when individuals show clear signs of crisis. Leah's chilling death marked a turning point for mothers of teens to say, "That could be my daughter." Her story resonated locally and beyond, helping remove the stigma surrounding maternal mental illness and substance abuse. Friends who knew Leah before she lost her way never forgot the creative, intelligent spirit that once shone so brightly. They campaigned for justice on her behalf, hopeful that modern forensics could still identify her killer after cold case detectives exhausted all previous leads. And for investigators like Hartford Police Captain Drew Jacobson, Leah's case remains seared into memory, the shocking events a reminder of their duty to give voice to victims even decades later. While the past can't be rewritten, closure and accountability remain within reach if the crucial evidence is uncovered. The tragic murder of Leah Ulbricht stands as a heartbreaking cautionary tale on the steep cost of letting cries for help go unanswered. Her story exposed gaps within healthcare and justice systems that often fail the most vulnerable. Only by learning from past oversights can society evolve towards preventing such tragedies. If emerging forensic technology someday provides the key to Leah's case, justice finally won will carry deeper meaning. Her devastating loss must serve as the impetus to bridge divides separating the struggling from lifelines of support and treatment before all chances fade. While the judicial system seeks closure, the quest to foster compassion and communication remains up to each of us. Before you leave, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. This will ensure you stay informed about the latest true crime cases we uncover. We're grateful to have you as part of our community as we explore the captivating mysteries that continue to fascinate us all. Stay curious and vigilant that even closed books still hold untold pages waiting patient revelation. Thank you for joining us, and we eagerly anticipate seeing you in our next exploration. Until next time.